तपस्वाध्याय शुश्रूषा कृष्णपूजारतं मुनिं विश्वेशमिष्टदं वन्दे परिव्राट् चक्रवर्तिनम्. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. Hari Om to all. Welcome back to Bhagavad Gita session. Today we are going to look at Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 9. Until now we saw Arjuna has expressed his grief, confusion and helplessness. Arjuna has surrendered to Krishna and requested his guidance. Now, in this verse, the narration returns to Sanjaya, who is describing the events of the battlefield to the king Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is eager to know what happened after Arjuna surrendered to Krishna. Sanjaya answers by describing Arjuna's final statement before Krishna begins speaking. In this verse, Arjuna, overwhelmed with emotion, tells Krishna that he will not fight. Let us look at the verse first. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 9. Sanjaya uvacha eva muktva hrishikesham gudakesha parantapa nayotsya iti govindam uktva tushtim babhuvaha. Sanjaya uvacha. Sanjaya said, evam, thus, uktva, having spoken, hrishikesham, to Hrishikesha, that is Krishna, gudakesha, Gudakesha, that is Arjuna. Parantapa, O destroyer of enemies. Na, not. Yotse, I will fight. Iti, thus. Govindam, to Govinda, again to Krishna. Uktva, having said. Tushneem, silent. Babhuva, became. Ha, indeed. Simple meaning of this verse. Sanjaya said, O King Dhritarashtra, you are the destroyer of enemies. After speaking these words to Hrishikesha, Arjuna, the conqueror of sleep, told Govinda, I will not fight, and then became silent. Let us look at the deeper explanation of this verse. Sanjaya addresses Dhritarashtra as Parantapa here. Destroyer of enemies. Even though Dhritarashtra was blind, he was capable of fighting the war. He was well versed in Astra and Shastra. That is why Sanjaya calls him Parantapa, O destroyer of enemies. Dhritarashtra was eagerly waiting to know what happened next on the battlefield. The first question itself was Kima Kurvata Sanjaya, what they did. Now Arjuna, after all these confusions and his emotional collapse and psychological imbalance, Dhritarashtra was eager to know what happened next on the battlefield. Sanjaya answers him by describing Arjuna's reaction. After expressing all his arguments and surrendering to Krishna, Arjuna finally declares, I will not fight, Nayotsye. After saying this, Arjuna became silent. This silence marks the end of Arjuna's emotional outpouring and prepares the ground for Krishna's teaching. When he was expressing, it's a very small statement here, Nayotse, I will not fight, and he became silent. But Sanjaya uses three different words here. One is Gudakesha, one is Rishikesha, one is Govinda. At the same time, he uses Parantapa as well for Dhritarashtra. By using Parantapa, we know how capable was Dhritarashtra also. Of course, he does not have eyes and he cannot see the things. Probably in longer run, it could have hurt the kingdom. That is why Pandu took care of kingdom. But Dhritarashtra was also as capable as any other warriors in the warfield. That is why he says Parantapa, destroyer of enemies. Then he says Gudakeshaha. For Arjuna, he uses Gudakeshaha. Gudakeshaha means conqueror of sleep. Sanjaya calls Arjuna as Gudakeshaha. Sleep is powerful thing in everybody's life. Eventually, all living beings surrender to sleep. But Arjuna disciplined himself so intensely that he could control sleep itself. He slept only when necessary and only for the amount of time he chooses. That is why he is called as Gudakeshaha. So, by calling Arjuna Gudakesha, Sanjaya is subtly hinting something to Dhritarashtra. Don't overread the situation. When Arjuna said Nayotse, it means war is over, don't overread the situation. Dhritarashtra, remember, just as Arjuna conquered the sleep through discipline, he will also conquer his present despondency and confusion. In other words, Sanjaya suggests that Arjuna's current weakness is temporary. Don't overjoy. That is why he says Gudakeshaha. And not only that, he is talking to Rishikesha. master of the senses. Rishikesha means the controller of the senses. Rishika means senses and Isha means master. Krishna is not only Arjuna's charioteer. He is the divine controller of all the senses and minds. By using this name, Sanjaya indicates that the one who controls the senses will surely guide Arjuna out of this confusion state. Again, don't overread the situation. And then he says, Govindam. Govinda means the all-knowing Lord. When we address Krishna as Govinda or Bhagavan as Govinda, the name itself carries deep meaning. Mahabharata explains this beautifully in Udyoga Parva. Gavo Veda iti proktah Gavo devascha sarvashah Veda vedyatvat devatvat Govinda iti kathyate. Gavaha, cows. Vedaha iti proktaha. Gavaha, general meaning is cows, but also Vedas also called as Gavaha. Gavo devascha sarvashah. Gavaha means even gods also called as Gavaha. So Krishna is called Govinda because Veda Vedyatvat Devatvat. He is known through the Vedas. That is why he is called Govinda. He is the protector of cows. That is why he is called as Govinda. And he is revered even by the gods. That is why he is called Govinda. Therefore, the name Govinda carries multiple meanings. Protector of cows, knower and essence of the Vedas, one who is worshipped by gods, one who gives joy to the sense and the world. Even Harivamsha Purana also explains the meaning of this name in same essence. All the sages say that the word Go refers to cows, senses and the Vedas. So, Govinda means the protector of cows, the one who delights the senses, the one who is known through the Vedas. Again, Govinda is also the one who attracts all living beings towards himself. That is why in the Mahabharata and in Bhagavad Gita narrative, when Krishna is addressed as Govinda, it is not just a name. It is recognition of his divine nature and universal authority. So that Govinda knows everything and he can control senses and even Vedas and gods. Definitely he is going to control Arjuna and definitely he will take Arjuna out of this confusing state. After Arjuna declaring, I will not fight, he becomes silent. This silence is very significant. Until now, Arjuna was speaking continuously, presenting arguments and emotional reasoning. Now he stops. His arguments are exhausted. His mind is still confused, but he has surrendered to Krishna. That particular silence opens the door for the next phase of the dialogue. So, Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 9 marks the end of Arjuna's emotional struggle. Arjuna has expressed his despair, confessed his confusion, and surrendered himself to Krishna. Now, Krishna will begin revealing the profound wisdom that will transform Arjuna's confusion into clarity and strength. Now, the teacher will soon speak. Whatever happens in next verse, that we will see in the next session. Until that, Hari Om to all. God bless you all. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayaah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukkhavag bhavet. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.